Hey guys, I'm going to walk you through the figure, which is what we're doing next, and you're going to be drawing this for practice today and for credit, where you're going to start with the rules of the figure and figure drawing, and this is called gesture, and you want to capture the movement or whatever pose the person is doing. So I'm going to use basic shapes like circles, ovals, and triangles to show you how to draw the person and different rules that go along with it. So make sure you're watching this and you're listening, and then you practice as well, and when I draw it on the board you can come back and play it again if you need to, okay? So when you first start, you have your head, and your head is an oval shape, not a circle but an oval. And the oval shape, your head is actually measures how tall you are. So if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, usually the average person is between 7 and 8 heads tall. So the average person is 7 to 8 heads tall, and you're drawing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am a shorter person, so I'm about 6 heads tall. I know this because of, I've done this a lot. So if you have a really tall person like an NBA player or a ballerina, they're probably closer to 9 heads tall. But a really tall average person would be 7 or 8 heads tall, and then a normal person between 6 and 7. So 7 to 8 is the rule, and you measure everything by your head, including your shoulder width. So if you take your head and go 1, 2, 3, your shoulders have a head set on each side of them, just like this. So if you have your head, take this width, 1, 2, and that should be the width of your shoulders. So in general, and these are some stereotypes, but in general, your head or your shoulder width is larger if you're a male and smaller if you're a female. And similarly, your hips are wider if you are a female and shorter if you are a male. So it'll be in reverse. So that's a general rule, but of course everybody's very unique and everybody's different, and you just have somewhere to start for guidelines, and then you change to alter for every person. So over here what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the head. So I'm going to put my head in, and I have my head, and it's basically just an oval, and you're going to put the line for your shoulders. You don't want to draw the neck in yet, you want to just leave a little bit of a gap. And then you're going to go down through and draw your torso. Your torso is going to be a triangle to upside down triangle and to your hip bone, and that triangle is going to be about 2 to 3 heads tall. So your torso here is going to be about 2 to 3 heads is your torso. So please write these down for notes, and that way you have them. So I'm going to put right here 1, 2 down to my torso, and that'll be my upper triangle. And now I'm going to do my hip line. If you feel, you can feel your hip in here, your hip joint there, and that across and down is your pelvis area, and then you're going to draw another triangle right in here. And this is just one way to do this. It's a very simple way to do this. You can do it many different ways. If you want to put the ball joints in on the sockets, if you want to do that and you've learned how to do that, great, but this is how I teach it, so it's easier for everybody to do. Okay, so we have our head, we have the torso, and we have our hips, and now we're going to put in our legs. And if you're standing still, your legs are actually proportionate to your arms. So if you're a really tall person and you have long arms, you're generally going to have long legs as well. So we're going to put our legs in. You have to go all the way down. So make sure you're tall enough, and your legs have to be tall enough to balance your torso out. So you're going to go 1 to your knee socket, 2, and then down. So another oval, knee socket, and go down. Generally angle your legs and your feet outwards so that it looks like you're standing on something, you're not just on your tiptoes. And you always start at the area here, your hip bone, because your leg will go straight down. You never start anywhere besides at the hip bone. Okay, so then that'll make it sense in a second when we kind of put skin on it. So now I'm gonna put the arms in, and my arms are halfway between my hip bone and my knee, which is right here. So if I stand sideways, you can see that is where proportionately it should go. So I'm gonna dot, 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 and I know if I start here, 1, 2, 3, that's where it should go. And then if I say I have my arms on my hips, 1, 2, 3, there you go. So this is the basic person, and that's the basic way of going in. And let me just move that so you can see where you have all of the different measurements. I'm going to do it very quickly in 1 or 2 different poses, and then you guys are going to use the pictures that I am uploading to practice on your sheets. So here we go. We have our head, and then we have our torso, another torso, and I'm going to do a wider base. Maybe their legs are stand up, and maybe they're doing a muscular theme, and their arms are out, up, and in, out, up, and in. So you have to do the pose, and then you know triangle, triangle, arms, ovals, and then eventually I could take this and put skin, and I'll connect it. And you see how that just made my person complete? So if you are doing a person and you are doing a sideways view, so sideways, this triangle smooshes. It smooshes in now. So you basically do the same thing. If I'm doing a sideways person, you do a smoosh triangle and a smoosh triangle. And then maybe they're walking this way, so maybe their angle is down and they're walking and they're going that way, and their arm is here going out, and this arm is there and going back, and they're walking in that direction. So you really just have to break it down slower so that way you can see how you're going to change your body's position, and always oval, triangle, upside down triangle, and then the ovals for the legs and the arms.